And we're back. Thank you for listening to us. Generally, we're very, very grateful.
Yeah.
And welcome.
Generally. Thank you for that.
We don't thank you enough. Welcome to the Friendlyjordies podcast.
Yeah.
The moment that everyone's been waiting for has arrived. We're going to do the merch review.
Fuck yeah.
Look, we got a fair bit of designs. I have chosen maybe like 7 or 8 that are good. Not all of them are going to become merch, but maybe like 2 or 3 might end up becoming merch. And we actually need your
for those people
who
haven't determined are going to win yet.
Yeah.
And this is just a wild guess from Ali that one of you will either be made into a shirt. Well done. Oh, look at that. Look at this tech whiz over here.
Dude,
Go, Ali.
fuck yeah.
All right,
For a man...
Come with glasses always, bro.
There's 2 ways that Ali could have gone in life because he looks like a 50-year-old that's like, can you help me with the keyboard? Or he also looks like an IT professional. So
Yeah, one or
I
the
want
other.
to see if it's working for everyone.
I spoke too soon. I got them here.
Oh, does it? Is it working?
Hey, is it working?
Oh, this is.
let us know on Twitch.
Oh yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it's.
Let us know on Twitch, bays.
Or message Miss Love's Instagram
Please don't.
and he'll check in a couple of days.
Don't message me.
All right, here's the first one.
Yes.
This is by. How do you pronounce his name, Miss?
Albonationopoulos.
No, the person who sent it.
Eloise.
She didn't give her last name, but she sent it. What do we think about this design?
I'm liking it.
I like how Eloise must have that as part of the design as well.
Yeah.
Her name is chucked
Yeah,
in.
that's the whole thing.
Nothing
whole thing.
nice and fancy like Banksy's either. Just straight up the first font that is the default.
You've got some bloody ego on you, Eloise.
Look, we can always tell her to like.
Doing this for free.
Hey, I'm just appreciating the effort. Doesn't mean it's going to make the final edit.
No.
This one, but I'm just saying.
Clearly that wasn't included. Ali's made a fucking PowerPoint. That's what's happened here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Eloise.
Far out. All that time in that Dan Murphy's place, it's paid off.
Shout out
This
to
is
you.
high school stuff, but okay, I'll take it.
No. It's good.
Isn't work.
Believe me, this is good.
Thank you, Eloise, for sending us
I
that.
like that.
It's,
I like that.
Australia.
I have to say this particular one does have somewhat of a time limit, but that's okay.
No, yeah, I mean, I suppose it'll load eventually.
Yeah, like a couple of months. So maybe not.
Yeah, unless it's one of those Harry Potter shirts where it moves and there'll be like a loading. And if Albo loses and Peter Dutton wins in his challenge, it'll just go error and then have Peter Dutton's face
Is
on
that
there.
official, is it?
Huh?
Is that official?
I don't even know anymore.
All right, do we
I'm
move?
just playing fantasy football at this point.
A rare insight into the psychology of friendly Jimmy. I don't even know anymore. Are you being sarcastic, dude? That's great.
All right, well, we move to the next one.
Great name,
I don't
by the
see
way.
why not.
Great name, Eloise. Yeah.
Eloise.
Next?
Yes.
Oh, you got it over
Yeah, do it.
Phil Jancic. Or Jan, I think it's Croatian. Jancic. Okay. Just.
Thanks, Phil. That's exactly what we were talking about before. The fact that I have a vape
Holy
addiction
shit.
and you've made a shirt out of that. So you've made it my commercial identity to keep smoking.
That's fucking-
Thank you for giving me permission.
That's the front runner for me right now. That's
Phil,
It's
I'm
like
going to be
looking in the
honest.
mirror.
I don't think we can use this as merch. I just wanted to add it because I like it. I think it's funny.
It's fucking
Because
funny. I like the art
pretty
too.
sure it's illegal to like shill cigarettes, even though it's a joke.
But that's so good. I'm a big fan. I think that should
and
be.
I like the art as
I
well.
reckon get rid of all your merch and exclusively.
Yes.
It's cool art, eh?
That cool design of, I don't know what, you know that kitschy Welcome to Paris art that they have on their shirts where
Totally.
they kind of sort of colour in the figure?
Yes.
I like that you're getting design from that, and
Yeah.
I'm basing the fact that you got that off of nothing at all. It just reminded me of that, but thank you, Phil.
No, he
Nice.
did. He cartoonized or whatever the word is, your picture where you're sitting on John Barilaro's chair and smoking a cigar. Actually, I just remembered you smoke cigars. Well, you did once at least.
Yeah.
Hypocrite.
Hypocrite. So he got that from that. Well, thank you. Good
it.
effort. We appreciate your work,
That's
Phil.
definitely. Look, that's good. That's good. We go.
Yeah, next. This.
Fuck.
To anybody listening to the audio.
Can you
It's
see
a
it?
shirt that says "Unvaccinated sperm available here, cash only."
I wish I had the balls to wear that in public. This is by Hector Morley. Very awesome. That is, I wish I had the balls to wear that in public. Hey,
I don't think I could do it either because people are gonna think.
they would just.
I suppose the cash only makes it better because you've got to be dumb to think that that's legit.
Yeah, I don't think anyone believes it, but it's fucking. Give me 10 years, I'm wearing that. 10 years when it's proven.
Yeah. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. Sperm is a very offensive word.
It is.
It
It
is.
is.
Just the thought of
It
sperm.
is a very fucked word.
Do you know what we could do with this shirt? We might not release it as merch, but what we could do is we could print a few and then have like competitions amongst pod fans and send out winners.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think
like
that's
that.
a
Yeah,
better use of this shirt.
That's a cool idea. That's a cool
That
idea.
might mean, Hector, you don't get paid for it, but
Hector, how much
because
did
we'll
you really
print
want?
like 20 of them and not actually sell any.
Yeah.
In fact, you're causing us financial problems by introducing this.
Every business has their hits, and this is something that we have to, claim on our bass. So
It's a funny gag, Hector.
it's fucking.
All right, next
good.
one. This,
Yeah, that's fucking great.
I thought of this. Maybe we
Seca.
could make this into a badge, not a shirt.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's great.
that's a sick idea.
One of those scout ones you have to sew on.
Torrens
Yeah.
Saker.
Torrance Saker.
Dude, that's a great idea. I think that's a really cool idea. It's a fucking good design.
Yeah.
With the the stars or whatever that cross is in the middle. Is that also the flag of like when the workers in some pit in Australia, gold miners, stood up to the tyrannical government for taxing them too high on their gold? Is that what that is?
That's it.
Yes.
For anybody playing at home, it's the
seriously.
Eureka
Psychic
Stockade
Yeah, that's the one.
flag.
That's the one.
One
Yeah,
of the most important parts of our history.
I'm lucky I read that on Wikipedia like 2 weeks ago. Telling it like it is.
All right, we might
That's good.
not
That's good.
make that into a badge, but
It's
I
good.
don't think it would work as a shirt. Maybe it could be like a pocket shirt, not like a huge
Yes,
design, like a
here.
little
Like on the corner.
like this shirt,
That,
this kind of thing.
that's a sick idea.
But I think I prefer the badge, even though badge is like
More work.
again. It's,
Badge. More work.
look, badges can't be too expensive and stuff, so it really defeats. But it could be a fun thing for our audience. Again,
What
we're
do you
still
reckon,
losing
Anton?
money here.
What do you reckon? You got to use that, right? Surely.
There's no choice. It's
There's
too good.
It's like a classic design.
People are very creative in our
They're
pod group,
very
aren't they?
creative out there. Again,
All right,
next
next
I feel
one.
like a kindergartner teacher. That's nice. Jeez,
This
the
I think is
receding
funny.
hairline and everything.
I'd wear that.
Holy shit.
So would I.
Dude, that's amazing.
Okay, let's make it part of the merch.
Mr. Sparkle, Lachlan Hallowell.
Actually, sorry, I forgot. We need to describe these as well for everyone that's listening on
shit.
Spotify and iTunes and stuff.
Yeah.
We are terrible podcast.
Yeah, we'll get there one day. This is a...
The
this
previous
is-
one, for those of you that were like, unless you've already turned off, it was a badge that said Common Sense Brigade telling it like it is.
And this is a parody.
One, with Miss Love will
This is a
describe.
parody of the Mr. Sparkle design. If you don't know what that is, then you're on the wrong pod. And it's basically Friendly Jimmy's as Mr. Sparkle saying something in Japanese with some Japanese writing, which I'm sure means something. I'm sure
Yeah,
he's...
I think it means like cleanest sparkle or whatever. I think it's the exact same text.
I mean, it's very...
we should
if-
probably get that translated because that could mean anything.
Yeah, it's niche, but I mean, fuck, it's good, right? Niche, but mad.
I actually
Whatever, we're
like
making a range.
yeah,
yeah.
who gives a shit?
It doesn't matter how many are in a range, sure.
Yeah, and niche is
Hey.
good, isn't it?
We got to stop
For-
them.
for
We got
Ali,
to
it
invest in.
Ali, it's not a lot of work, trust me. But having not done much, anything ever with it, I'm sure it's absolutely fine.
Yeah, Miss Love says it's in. So
I
it's
say
in,
it's
Ali.
easier.
Well, that was by Lachlan Halliwell. It's really funny, and we enjoyed your.
It's very funny.
Piece of work.
It's just
Go, Lockie.
a great episode too. We watched it the other day. Great.
And exactly the
Awesome
name of
power.
someone that we should be praising their art for on what is essentially a kid show, Lachlan.
That's
Can we
great.
just put at the end, Lachlan, age 10?
Miss Love, are you keeping a tab on like the comments? in case that they can't see.
Yeah. No, but it seems like they. Yeah, I saw a wow. So I think.
Oh yeah, so it's working.
And also, shout out to you, Miss Love, for not knowing the Eureka flag, but knowing very, very specific Simpsons references.
That's my upbringing. That's
All
my
right,
upbringing.
shall we go move on to the next one?
Yeah, they're saying they're all.
If it wasn't for the Australian flag with the boot kicking the ass, you wouldn't know what our flag looked like.
What do you mean? That's not our flag? What the fuck? Fuck, dude.
All right, next one.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. What the hell? Isaac McCormick.
I really, really like this as a shirt design because it could just be, you know how like we always wear, well, you're still wearing like, what's those, Al Gore's presidential. It's a memorabilia if he wins and if he loses. Hopefully he wins because if he loses, then we have bigger problems to worry about. But either way, it could work. The only thing that I was thinking of, I might actually message Isaac if we end up doing this, is to change the font of Anthony Albanese. It's too. By the way, do you know where that's from? That image? That's not an original. That's actually from Blade Runner's poster.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
He looks like Pol Pot.
that's somebody who's listened to 30 seconds of our pod before, as it is a Blade Runner reference.
It is. I like it. Anyways, but we'll see. We'll have to work out which ones we're doing, which ones we aren't. Next
Yep.
one.
Good on you, Isaac.
Whoa.
This.
Is way too specific. But it's amazing.
It's a cool design.
It's so cool.
It's got no reference. Like, it's got a reference, but you've got to be a really niche follower. Anyways, for those of you listening...
June. It looks like a June poster.
Go on.
For those of you listening, this submission is by Jack Grant, and it's got like a massive eel.
With its head, it's been chopped.
It's chopped in half. And
Not in half, just its head.
and a little person kneeling in front of it, which is supposed to be Miss Love, and it says, "Be a man."
Wait, what does it say behind it though? Halaman. Is that what is that? Just some Asian writing or something?
I don't know what that
Be
is.
No,
a
I think
man.
that might
Vietnamese?
be Vietnamese for be a man.
Oh,
Dude, well, I
maybe.
mean, obviously, I'm very biased, but I think this is the front runner. I mean, that is amazing.
I think I would just wear that shirt.
I would,
Yeah.
I would,
irrespective.
I would wear the shit out. Like, it's an amazing. Dude, I'll pay Jack Grant. Look, even if it gets ditched, I'll pay for some of these to be made. That's hilarious. Like, I would wear that as a design. Look, he's got the thing on the back, and then be a man at the front.
He's thought of
But
everything.
it really does look like a poster for June too. It's like a giant worm, and Paul Atreides is like bowing down to it.
The only thing,
Isn't that a coincidence? Our other eternal reference
Yeah.
straight afterwards.
and you've got to give him credit because the fact that he made an eel design, you guys said, first of all, you told him to make eel designs.
I forgot
And
that.
he made this design in whatever 2 weeks, which I think it looks like a fairly professional design.
Yeah, it does.
I mean,
It's such a pickle, though, because
No one will know.
is that going to sell a single shirt? And here's the other pickle. Does it matter at all?
this is
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. We've got to at least get back our investment, you know. We're
Right.
going to be spending money in printing these and getting them made.
That's how it works, apparently.
As long as, you know, we can pay rent and shit, I think it'll work. But having said that, look, I don't know. Jordan is right about it. It's such a niche reference. We don't know how many of these will sell. Maybe you guys can tell us.
I'll just pay for some of these, seriously.
But I would legitimately just wear that.
Yeah, me
Not
too.
knowing what the context about it, I just think it's a cool design.
It's also so disturbing because it's like, oh, I didn't think the animal I murdered would come back to haunt me, and it's very angry. It's fucking hilarious.
All right, good
You
going.
wigged out, Miss Love. Well done, Jack.
And that's your saying. The B, no, two.
No, that was what two said.
Be a man.
Amazing.
It's funny how she said that.
I know, amazing. It's just incredible.
What a moment of life.
What a moment.
That was my only happy memory of the last year and a half, and it was of slaughtering an innocent animal.
Hey, it went to a good cause for us to try
One
it.
of the
and-
lowest viewed videos we've ever done.
Yeah, and to try it and just throw it away straight away.
Then we make merch of the lowest viewed video. We really know how business works.
Well, at least Jack Grant has good taste. He
Either
knows.
way.
what
Yeah,
content.
you do.
Even if we
Jack.
just get one, I'll wear it. All right, next one.
Daniel Marin. Oh
Daniel Marin.
my god.
Sam. Okay. Well, that's a definite. We're making that.
Oh my fucking god!
Can one of you describe it as well?
Jordan, you're
All right. Okay. It's a Lord of the Rings movie poster.
I'm fucking Gollum. Why am I? I'll take it. I'm Gollum. Sorry, go on. My
All right. Lord of the Rings movie poster. Just picture it out of your head. The title of it is Friendlyjordies and the Return of the Common Sense. Top stuff. The ring is a 1 next to the Labor candidate that I am holding up triumphantly. Miss Love is... I should be the Gollum creature, let's be honest. But, okay, I'm glad that you've pawned that one over.
I'll take it.
I don't know who the elvish maiden is.
Yeah, me neither.
Neither.
Oh, no, it's Marcus Paul.
Oh, it's Prawnie.
Go the prawn. Yes, and
He's got tits.
close, because I think some crustaceans do have eternal life like elves. That was well picked. Of course, Gandalf the White is Kevin Rudd coming back even more based than he was in Office, where he was Kevin Rudd the Grey. And
He looks like fucking the Colonel there. Looks like the Colonel.
well, he always does.
True.
He is, isn't he? He's just
Ali-
a more Chinese-looking Colonel Sanders.
I think Ali is Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah.
He's
I am
Samwise.
Sam.
Yeah.
And Anthony Albanese is Aragorn, flailing a massive sword, which I'm sure will turn into
Holy
an Australian...
shit. I thought that was Mark Latham.
You thought Mark Latham was going to be Aragorn.
Well, it looks more like Latham than fucking...
No, it
than
looks like
Albanese.
Elbow to me.
I mean, look, if you say so, miss.
Shit, I was like, that's a weird choice, Mark Latham.
I think this is
I
a really
suppose all
good
the
design.
cloud in the background is vape smoke. We're doing it.
That's
Yeah,
a,
I think this.
dude, that is
Spoiler alert. I don't know. We'll see.
Daniel Murray. Dude, that's really funny.
Well, I'll talk to Daniel. Obviously,
I
It's
think
his
that we
design.
should just get that as a poster in here.
Me too.
This could also
Sell
work
it
as
as movie
That's the thing.
posters.
It could work as a shirt and it could work as a poster. I would have.
So good.
Daniel, you've blown our minds here.
It's so... You're an amazing illustrator. I mean, you fucked up Albo, but...
I don't think he did. I think he did a good job.
No, I can see the Albo now. I just, for some reason, I saw Latham.
Dude,
I
Miss
think-
Love's smile is so menacing.
I look fucked.
Still wearing the little bald obsessed beanie.
So fucking good. It's good. It's really good. And your triumphant face, like, yeah. It's amazing. What can I say? It's
I guess he's Gollum because you're obsessed with getting that piece of paper that is the how-to vote card so you can put a tracking number of a pedal that got lost in the mail on the back. How do you feel about being Samwise Gamgee, Ali?
I don't know what happened. Oh,
It's
okay.
back. It's back.
It's back. I like it, dude. I think
You are
know what's
Samwise.
funny about
Come on.
this? I saw the final Lord of the Rings for the first time yesterday, and
And what was your verdict?
That's insane.
it's a bit overrated.
Yep,
However,
thank you.
I think Frodo is not the hero. Sam was the hero of the movie.
Yes.
Frodo wasn't doing shit. He kept falling and not trusting anyone except that he's the one who shouldn't be trusted. Anyway, and then like at the end, sorry, I saw this
Such a
yesterday.
chic hero.
So it's like still ingrained, but like
First time.
And then everyone's like, "Oh no, Frodo can do it because he can withstand all the temptation." And then he goes there and ends up not doing it. The only reason why the ring fell in the lava was because Gollum was trying to.
Mislove tacked it, yeah.
Yeah, Mislove tactic. It was so. I don't know. Like I like Sam. I think Sam's the hero.
Yeah, okay, so it gets your tick of approval of your character. I don't like the fact that I'm Frodo because I think I look too similar to him in real life. But hey, Marcus Paul as a hot elvish chick does make up for it.
This is the picture that just keeps on giving. It's so good.
I'm gonna look at the
And
comments.
there's so
to
much
see-
to read into it.
I'm
I feel like
happy-
this should be unpacked, not even in year 12 film studies, first year uni.
It's so good. It's it's just insane. It just looks so well done.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how they fucking did it. Is that hand drawn? Must have been.
think it is.
Yeah, and then scanned. Return of common sense.
All right, Daniel.
Look,
Even if it doesn't make it to the cut, what am I saying? It's made it to the cut.
At least leave some room for negotiation.
no,
How much money do you want for it, Daniel? 50 grand? Okay, Ali, write him a check.
Write him a check.
Yeah, well, first I'd have to borrow that amount.
Dude, that's. I just can't stop looking at it because it's just I keep just wanting to say how good it is. Nothing
All
else
right,
to
next
say.
one. Clearly, everyone likes this one.
Good job, Daniel. Whoopsie. Shani Watt.
Shani Watt has made
So
Scott Morrison
meow.
a cat. This is getting more kindergarten by the second
Not
one.
man's best.
I think
That's pretty good.
Oh, Shani.
I really like the image. This could work as a mug,
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
except that what I would want to find out with Sharni, I'll contact her and be like, is this the final version? Because I think it needs some color filling.
No,
Don't you
I
think?
like it. It's simple. It's like simple black and white style. I think it's cool. I don't think it needs any color.
You don't hang around enough share houses in Newtown, Ali.
Really?
They really don't have colours. They can't afford it.
I think this could work as a mug, potentially.
It's a good design. It's actually, dude, this is the kind of shit that Scotty wishes he came up at his marketing job. Like, it's simple, it's effective, it's clever, it's like,
Probably would win him the next election.
it's really good. That's up there for me as well. Totally different style, but really good. Great design. Good eye.
on that because he might not be Prime Minister
Hey, can you fix your wire?
Yeah, go on. Go on.
The
touching
moment's
his
lost.
shit.
Let's move to the next
Yeah,
one. Well
yeah.
done, Shani.
Great effort there. Really good. Jack Grant. Oh my God.
Now this is a design which doesn't feel like it's a Friendlyjordies design, but again, I thought it was like
It's better.
even if we don't use it, I think this guy just deserved a shout out. And to be fair, he said it. He was like, "Hey, I've got a design.
Dude, it's so
I don't know
good.
if this is Friendlyjordies design, but I'm just going to put it
Dude,
out
this
there."
is as
cool.
good as the other two. It's so good.
And probably the only popular sci-fi film that we don't reference every 30 minutes, which is 2001: A Space Odyssey. So we will be putting that into the repertoire so you can hang your hat on that at the very least, Jack. I think that we should make it a design if you are willing to compromise on your work of art a little bit, Jack. I think it should be, instead of time for another red pill cuck, time for yet another red pill cuck.
Yeah, that works. I'm agreeing. Why not?
I like how I'm giving advice to people who have given us labour for free, but send it back and we won't pay you for either.
I like how Paul Jennings-esque
So if we use it, we'll give you
illustration is.
something.
I like how Paul Jennings-esque the illustration
But
is.
like, okay, what do you think about
very-
the fact? What do you think about the fact that this logo has nothing to do with Friendlyjordies? It's clearly one of his designs.
Yeah, it's an FD, Friendly Daniel.
It feels like something that he should pitch to Cotton On as opposed to Friendlyjordies merch, but I still give it props.
Well, if it's good enough for Cotton On, it's not good enough for us. It's a really shit store.
No, it's just because the logo is like, what's that the logo of?
It does look like a D, but I'm
If
a
you're
fan.
listening, Jack, if we can work out a way to model that logo into something Friendlyjordies related, we can probably make that design work.
It's amazing. I mean, no one will know what the fuck it is, but like what... It's
No,
not...
but we don't know what the fuck it is. The whole thing is...
No, I know what it is.
Oh, sorry, we forgot to describe these again.
2001
No, we
Space
gave
Odyssey.
it a good enough.
It's 2001.
Yeah.
Look, you can always
bobs.
go to YouTube and check out the actual picture, but I understand when you're working, you're not going to be YouTubing, you're going to be just listening, in which case we apologize.
Yeah, Jack Grant, I'll grant you this. It's a design.
It's a it's a good design. Don't just
Sick.
grant him that.
Yeah, okay, all right, fair.
All right, next one.
Cotton On design.
Yeah.
Yeah, again,
Jake.
we're going to have to do it.
El Galada.
First of all, Jake, again, if you're listening, what is it? The writing, what does it mean? I hope it's not criminally
knows?
incriminating or something.
I don't think the second letter's real. It looks like an asterisk.
No, that's just Russian.
Is it? Okay.
Or
So
maybe it is an
this
asterisk.
is basically a communist propaganda photo with all of us in it and Rudd going,
He's the fallen leader.
Mao-esque.
Mao-esque.
Russian. Sorry,
Marx,
it's Stalin.
actually.
Stalin.
Yeah, okay,
Marx,
it's
whatever.
Marx. I do like how he's perfectly
really
encapsulated our spirits if we were dictators. I would be a cross-dressing freak in the modern age, similar to Xerxes. And they're right, I would definitely wear a satin red jacket, much like the wives of most dictators. Miss Love doesn't know that he's a dictator. He thinks he's a lower-end mafia goon as he's wearing a purple satin jacket. And Ali is wearing what Ali just naturally does wear. That's not even a joke.
Yeah.
That's just...
Great drawing.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out. I think I'm supposed to be Trotsky. Jordan, maybe you're supposed to be Lenin or Stalin.
Well, who's the guy in the background then?
I think that's Marx because he's like the dead
The
overarching ideology guy.
Right.
And Kevin Rudd's overarching
shit.
ideology
Boys.
is NBN's not a bad idea.
Emperor of Tiger Star. It's Russian for Geordie's podcast.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Isn't that amazing? Thanks, Emperor of Tiger Star, for learning Russian for that moment. I can't imagine it's been useful in your life for anything else.
Thanks, Jake El Galata.
It's really good. The illustration's really good. Like he's drawn that really well by hand.
It's definitely a good one. I like
Really
it
got
too.
the expressions. That's pretty fucking good. I mean, whether or not it's funny, I think it would make people like hate us more. That's all right. Fuck them.
There's a lot of podcast merch for this. We might have to make a separate Friendlyjordies podcast range.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do it on your main channel, if you can do the same shout out,
There's a lot of good shit here.
I'll go through them again. Just give
This
them
is-
the email address of the podcast.
There's been 4 that I honestly think are worth printing.
This is from like the limited podcast pool. If you want to expand,
It's really good.
We should
It's
probably
really
be
good.
having this conversation outside. But I'm
whatever.
very happy, and there's definitely some that we could make from these as well.
Good
All right,
job,
next one.
Jake. Great job.
Miss Love, take the tally up to 5.
Agreed.
We have another instant classic, which is really what Isaac Butterfield has been nagging me to do for 6 months. In fact, I think he invited me onto his podcast just to harass me to post this. So you've done it, Christopher. Thank you for that.
Christopher Woe has nailed it. It is again simple to the point. What's it? Is it
Okay, it's supposed to be for those of you.
Chill.
I love your endearing, happy, innocent face too. Like it's a modeling photo, and then just chill. There's nothing for the imagination.
It's so perfect.
Again, for
so
those of you that are listening, it's actually based on the Obama poster. What's the Hope poster?
Yeah.
So it's the same sort of like design, but instead of Obama, it's Jordan's face, and instead of Hope, it just says shill, and the entire thing is in red to signify communism or labor.
It's so
labor,
funny.
actually.
It's so it's funny because like it's the main argument against you. So like if you wore that, they'd be like, yeah, but he's a, and then look down and be like, oh, yeah, that.
He admitted it. Yeah, that took the sting out of it, didn't
Do
it?
you know what I mean? It's almost like it's great to just shove that in people. It's actually genius. It's really good.
Yeah,
really
I
funny.
love it.
It has, you know what I mean? It would work well on multiple levels.
And I would wear that around, even though it's a picture of me on it.
That makes
It's
it even funnier.
Steve-O level putting your
Yes.
face on your back.
Because it's literally making fun of yourself. So you're not like
Yes.
some ego guy that's like walking around with you as king. It's like, I am a sold out shill.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good. That's great.
I think this might have been the last one, but can you go forward
yeah,
and
yeah.
see? Yep, I think
That's
that's
it.
That's the end.
So those are the cream, was it?
Well,
Sort of
those were the
vibes?
creams. There were a lot more, and I know that there's going to be a lot of people that are disappointed because their artwork didn't make it, but maybe we can do another episode with
Yeah.
all the rejects.
Reject.
Yeah,
out.
I would like to do that as well.
The reject. Actually, that would be fun.
That'd be
because
great.
I bet we'll find as many good ones because of how crappy they are. We'll be like, that's even better. So
That'll become our range. Okay, so we've got a podcast range, a Friendlyjordies official range, and a forgotten range.
dude, great job. Great fucking job.
Cheers, gang.
On that note, while we're still doing shout outs, just before I forget, I want to shout out 2 Instagrams. 2. Count them. One is a young gentleman who goes by Photograph by Locke, whose name is Locke, I would assume. Another young man called Jared Geeson. Anyway, look him up on Instagram. They also this week, because Jordan was just like, can you get rid of your phone that is completely redundant and useless? And I was like, I'll think about it. And I don't know if you've seen this, Ali, but there's an official Mislav filter.
You're going to have to give people more backstory.
Well, I know what the filter is.
Podcast 101 on our 300th episode.
So they've made an official, I put it out there, and they made an official Mislav filter. So if you don't know, I was doing a show with my friend's band, Dress Tech, and they had a laser show, and I was like, cool, man. And I was filming the laser, and I was like, I got a cool idea. And I like passed it through the laser, and it just went and fucked my phone.
I didn't know.
You didn't know that?
That's so much better than I thought.
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
It was just wear and tear.
Yeah, 2 years ago. No, it wasn't wear and tear. I pointed it as a laser. At a rock show. And then I saw it after. I'm like, my phone's just auto-adjusted to a filter. That's strange. And it took me like a few days. I'm like, it's not going away there. So, and that was... It's been a long and fruitful relationship, but probably time to move on. And now, if I ever get nostalgic, or anyone on earth gets nostalgic, just go to, unless both of those guys die, then we're screwed. But I think they'll survive. They go to their Instagrams, and you can be like me and act like a complete useless fool.
Are you
getting a new phone?
It looks like the Eureka stock egg flag that you couldn't identify.
How ironic.
But it's the futuristic version of, meaning you are the 21st century equivalent of those gold miners that took their final stand. But you're like, no, I refuse to not fuck up my phone at a rock show. It really does show how far their rights have taken you, Miss Love.
Look at this shit. I don't know if you can see it, but...
I don't think they can.
Yeah, but it's, you know what it is.
I suppose I could put it up on the computer, but
and if you don't know, put your phone in front of a laser and you'll have that for free.
For free, exactly. So yeah, like, shout out to those guys. If anyone wants to get... And dude, it's actually been quite cathartic because it feels like it's just like, I birthed this thing... Now I've given it to the world, or rather, someone's done it for me, and now I can move on. You know, because I've had enough people.
Miss Love way of giving things.
That's right. There's just enough. I've had enough people just thinking I'm a fucking moron. That's just like, why does he love that filter? You know what I mean?
I would feel nostalgic if you got a new phone. I thought one of your stories was that you were going to get a new phone.
No, I am. This
He
week
was, but we just made it redundant because in classic Miss Love style, I've been saying we need your phone so we can film me naked in a bathtub. Really, he had one job over the last.
Oh, was that what it was for?
I did explain this numerous times.
No, not in explicit enough terms, but
yeah, but as we discovered the pre-show, you don't remember drinking my piss.
No, I don't. So that's probably true. But look, I still think it's time. So you know.
No, we can't now.
Nah, come on.
It's become an iconic meme.
Well, actually, people were saying I should make a shirt for merch that's just on the shirt, which would be just so niche. Like, just but you have to admit, if you saw that and you got it, you would just be like, yeah, like it's just so dumb.
How many Instagram followers do you have?
I don't know. Why? A couple of
because that would give us an understanding of how many people might actually get the joke.
No. Most don't get the joke.
Even on his Instagram.
Yeah, they're just like, what the hell is this? I'm just like, I've been through this. So anyway, everyone seems to love it. So
that's great.
All right.
I've got some more, and I think that this is a segment that no one's sick of. Dog news.
What's the dog news?
Well, as I've essentially turned Miss Love into, I've skipped the part where he has to go to jail for 12 years and somehow cleanse his soul by volunteering at an animal shelter, which I assume is everybody who works in an animal shelter. I always think that they are an ex-con, right?
I think most of them are, yeah.
And you know from experience now after speaking to them. But this week, we had a massive breakthrough on it, which is, hey, you don't have to build a dog shelter from scratch. Did you know this, Ali? They already exist.
Dude, I got... Just on a side note,
yes.
I got an email just a few days ago at one of these organizations when we were still thinking of building one, and
You guys were. When you were talking about
what they said?
$1 million mortgages for this doghouse, I was like, I'm sure that there's few that's already paid their mortgage.
You know what they
Well, you should
said?
have piped up earlier.
You know what they said?
What?
They said, this is when I was still like, can you just tell us how to do this? And it was like, yeah, great. You're going to want to start with animal welfare and property legislation. There's a long list of textbooks you're going to have to familiarize yourself
They're not
very
wrong.
well with before you even consider lodging a fucking, like, you know, putting forward the lodge to some sort of government body. It would be like 10 years, dude.
That's amazing.
We'd all have to quit our jobs.
Hey, that is your job, Miss Love.
Yeah,
and you
but
are the most
want me to
qualified.
start reading
somebody
it?
whose degree is film from TAFE. And we're
And
going to get
BA
him on
media.
very, very niche
Yeah,
law.
he needs to understand property law. He needs to understand animal
animal
welfare.
rights
And-
law.
And if anyone
And this
asks,
is just for starters.
and if
we haven't
anyone
even built
asks
anything
us,
yet.
if anyone asks us any question, we'd be like, no, this is the brains of this project.
This doesn't
Go, miss.
This doesn't come down on me. This comes down on your autisticness being like, it will be the easiest thing in the world. We can do it definitely easily. This is you, not me. Just make it happen.
Because I saw one YouTube video like Mr. Bird's going, Smithers, do you think my dog killed those plants?
And like Mr. Bird's just delegating me, like, make it happen. It's like, but Mr. Bird, there's going to be many years, a lot of millions. I said do it.
Oh, man. I am Steve Jobs at this point. Just delegating impossible tasks to people and taking credit.
Yeah. It's just such a,
Wait, so what's the breakthrough then?
The breakthrough, well, that was a breakthrough enough, first off. So you should pat myself on the back for discovering that. Usually, as usual, like a lot longer than it should have taken. But
Not my fault as well, but go on.
this one isn't. I do take 1% of the blame.
No, dude.
All right.
It's them.
1.5.
It's not just you. It's like, can we do this? Yeah. We'll get to our media liaison. We'll get back to me, which will get back to our PR liaison, back to media, and then 1 out of 10 chance you'll get the email. See ya. That's the process. Anyway.
Someone has to do that part. And that is something that everyone is qualified to do, which
Yeah.
is what most people in our generation, that is their job.
Yeah, just push, just taking information and contacts and just kind of pushing it out into cyberspace, and then it coming back and being like, "Here's the ball again." How much you get paid a year? 120K. Here you go.
Playing a really slow, not fun handball.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we found one. We found one, and I'm proud to announce
Oh, wait, are you ready to announce?
one part about it. I'm not going to say
One.
which one because we
Yeah.
still want that to be somewhat of a surprise, but it is in the Central Coast, Newcastle, Cessnock region of New South Wales that we'll be giving some cold hard cash on, hopefully, at some point in the future.
You said it. It's called business. Look it up. Google it. Business ethics.
But they were saying that the two big costs that they have is they need to build more kennels all the time, which means they need bricks, and dogs, as Homer Simpson once pointed out, need to be fed every day. And I said, well, why don't you just get expired food from the supermarket? Greener the better. The more rotten the meat is, chuck it at them because they're garbage disposal units. And I stand by that is what dogs should be eating, right?
And that is also terrible PR, but go on. But go on. See, now I'm in this world, so now I've become one of these people that's like, that's going to be terrible for optics. It's fucked. It's fucked.
But I've got a question. Does anyone in that Newcastle region want a lot of positive advertising for one, if you could get us food that is almost going to expire that dogs would like? So, yeah, the basics. Celery, apple,
Chicken
because we all
Kievs.
know they're vegan animals, huh?
Chicken Kievs.
Yeah. Ingham's? How about that, guys? They need to be flavoured, as we all know. Street dogs need to have the top of the line. They can't have expired meat, no. has to be preserved chicken nuggets.
That's all we're going to get. It's Newcastle.
Hey, if you want to feed them some decent meat, like I feed my dog a raw meat diet, and there's this company called Raw and Fresh that sends me like this package which has like chicken liver, chicken mince, and chicken bones, and some vegetables, which is like the perfect proportion for like a healthy dog. And it costs me about maybe $3 per pack.
Shit.
Which is gonna last so my dog will eat 1 pack a day of those.
That's not a bad option.
They are street dogs, Ali, and $3 does add up when you have to feed 1,000 dogs.
No, it's still not a bad idea. It's still not a bad idea.
I mean, if they were willing to give us 1,000 portions for free daily, that'd be great. But I'm just saying, if anybody out there, it's a good suggestion for people who love dogs.
Bulk
but
packs. They also do bulk packs, which is minus the vegetables. It's just the meat stuff, and you get like this massive bag that will be cheaper, I'm guessing.
Well, look, that's definitely a good offer, but
we don't have to do that. We can feed them expired shit.
At this point, it's all ideas.
Dude, get in touch with me. Go on, yeah. Email me. We'll talk.
So 2 things. Is anyone out there got any link to a supermarket where they could give us a bunch of best before food? Because I would really like to get that as one of the things to just ease the pressure off those guys. And the second one, which Miss Love says is an impossibility, but I believe in miracles.
I didn't say impossible.
Would any brick factories...
What year
is that when they're made? I don't know.
So removed from reality, dude.
They're not baking mud in the sun anymore in square blocks, right? Is that how bricks are made?
Kind of.
Is there anyone that just has huge amounts of surplus bricks, especially if they have lead in them? That'd be great because as my dog once got lead poisoning from licking them a lot. So I think that'd be great to just, so we've got more kennels freed up by that as well.
Exactly, yeah.
But if anyone has either of those things and they live in the Newcastle region, I can guarantee you this. I will get you more coverage than whatever those things are worth.
Look, it's worth a shot. It's worth a shot.
I think you might find a few people that might just they might just donate some.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. I just don't see fucking Nick Scarley doing it. But you could probably find some shit kicker sort of small town.
I don't think Nick Scarley, a purveyor of fine Italian imported furniture, will be providing dog food.
Yeah, okay, but you know what I mean? Like Tom Scully's Brick Co. Ltd. Newcastle. You know what I mean?
It's always got the LTD. Yeah. But now back to the actual pod after we've spent half of it advertising.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie.
We're going to a Twitch ad.
Twitch, fuck it.
Come on, let's go to a Twitch ad.
I don't know how we do. I think we've been demonetized. Speaking of demonetized, God, I'm so happy I don't work for 2SM. What is happening with Prawnie?
Wasn't he reinstated?
No, well, not that. The last that I heard was that he was fired. And do you know why he was fired?
Labour shield.
No, well, actually, that's
so.
that might be the reason. Actually, because the other reason. Do you know what is the the supposed cause for him to get cancelled?
I listened to it, and I've got to say, I wouldn't be putting that on my demo tape for my next job, which was
What is
it was a Simpsons sketch. It was some producer had handed him a piece of paper where it was a quiz. It's a daily quiz of the news.
We do similar shit, which is why, I swear, I could be guilty of this. I recognize that it's insensitive and everything, but does a motherfucker need to lose a job over this shit?
Yes, if you are not pushing out the message that the radio station wants you to push out and you need an easy excuse to fire them.
I think that's it. I think that's the real reason. It's not the...
He did the Howard Stern, how big is your car?
Okay, let me...
He did a Howard Stern move.
He didn't even do that, man. So... Apparently, there's some case, and I'm as respectfully as possible. I don't know who can cancel us, but I suppose. But anyway, so there was this news story where this little child was kidnapped, and eventually they found her body. It's a really distressing case and everything. But this is what Prawnie does, right? He does he has this segment on his show where he's got where he asks like audience these answers. Like it's the same thing as like Kiss FM or whatever.
Yeah.
If you can answer this, you get something. I don't know, like merch or money
chair
or something,
CD.
something like that. So one of the questions on this quiz was, what suburb was the girl kidnapped from?
Yeah.
No, that's it. That was the question, and that was insensitive, and he's fired for it.
But
Jesus.
having said that, and I love Prawnie to bits, the segment went on, I'm not even going to say a little too long. He wasn't even thinking about it. He was just saying it. And then he just goes, what suburb did this girl tragically get kidnapped in? And then the first person comes up and goes, Cronulla? No, it's not Cronulla. All right, let's just go back to the board. What suburb was this girl who has been found dead? It's very sad. What suburb was she found in? It just kept going for like 5 minutes.
Oh, that's not ideal for 2SM or whatever the fuck it is.
It's not ideal.
Yeah.
But this is my retort.
Isn't it AM?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a dump button like Kyle Sandilands. He's live on air for 3 hours a day. What do you people want? You think that everything that you ever say is going to be unfiltered? Could you imagine how quickly we would be fired if we were on FM radio?
I mean, when me and Jordan had a short stint as #1 drive home team of the Upper Mountains, we fucking invited in a regular segment was ordering a pizza and then getting the pizza man to review the pizza he delivered on air. We'd last, I don't know how we did last as long as we did.
I don't know either.
Wait, so you would get him to eat
You know
it?
what? The closest we ever got to firing, how good is this?
Oh, yeah.
Is just...
I know, you guys so good.
This is amazing. I had just gotten into medieval history and was recalling it on FM radio, and you should have seen the amount of hatred we got.
Oh, was that?
Yeah.
I thought it was the thing where we pretended to be at the Melbourne Cup, and the boss called and was like, You're not actually at the Melbourne Cup, are you? And we're like, no, we're in the studio. It was a joke. He's like, right, yeah, right, okay. All right, share. I thought, wasn't that? I thought it was that.
How did we have that job?
What are you talking about? What's the medieval? What? So people just like, don't talk about Age of Empires. Well, that was it.
Yeah. They rang up and they were learning things.
And then we had to have like we had to have like a group meeting being like explaining why it's like teaching your audience, even marginally educating them, even if it's entertaining, is not ever allowed. That was, remember?
Yeah.
Tim was just like, boys, it's
serious discussion.
Yeah, a meeting. Like, boy, it's just not going to work. And then we were just like trying to, like, really? And like trying to like intellectualize why it's not that big a deal. And it's like, I just don't know how, you're not, like, I'm trying to understand the situation here. Educating people, you think it's good? Yes. I just can't understand the situation.
So it really shows behind the scenes what they think of their audience, and in fairness, they are right about it as well.
But how's the double standards though? Like, you mentioned Kyle from the Kyle and Jackie O show, famous one. If he did that,
Nothing.
Which
is why I don't think it was about the thing itself.
So like, what's with that? Is it because it's AM FM? Like, I know it's kind of different audiences, but it's like, come on, like,
it's because Kyle Sandilands is King Kyle. He is untouchable, and so
what about King Prawn?
And he also
king in
supports.
our
He's
eyes.
obviously not untouchable.
He also supports the Liberal Party, Kyle. In fact, just today, that was also one of our segments where Kyle and Jackie O had like this little beef where they were discussing Scott Morrison, and Jackie O was like, I don't know how we can trust Scott Morrison after Gladys's text messages. And Kyle was like, you just believe anything ABC says. Like, he was supporting Scott Morrison, essentially.
No, I obviously heard that part because I'm an avid fan. I haven't heard that live. That's how much of a fan I am.
You did, yeah.
But I've got to say, yeah, this was incredible. Kyle Sandilands did, in that segment, unintentionally break down the propaganda model perfectly in Boganese. It was a really dumbed down, non-academic Chomsky thing, but he was saying, this is what these dumbass journalists do. They think, oh yeah, we got this little gotcha moment, but it's about nothing anyway. Who cares? But they make that the news and make everybody think about that when it doesn't matter to begin with, and they all don't bother to fact check. They all just regurgitate what everybody else says. I'm sick of it. Yeah. This is madness. And then stormed out, and I was like, holy hell. He just told millions of people how the game works, and it was all because one of his friends got dissed.
It's pretty amazing.
Pretty cool, right?
But the net result of that is he's convincing folks to vote for Scott Morrison.
Is that the net, or do you think that his audience don't vote?
Nah, probably do vote for Scott Morrison.
They probably do vote for him.
Most of them.
I just don't know if Kyle Sandilands supports a party or if he just thinks, yeah, that person came in and they were nice to me. They didn't chastise me for wanting to legalise weed.
Yeah, I think it might be the latter.
Because they let Labor people on and stuff.
I think they just think, he's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's FM's...
Which isn't the worst thing in the world.
Which really
That's how it
scares me,
works.
because if Kyle is for Scott Morrison like that, I think the average Joe also might be for Scott Morrison.
No, he's for Gladys Berejiklian.
Well, wasn't he criticizing Gladys Berejiklian?
He's criticising the journalist for putting this shit on his mate. Which is exactly... It's just, look, you're over-politicising this point. He does exactly the same for John Ibram. Right?
Ibrahim, yeah.
Yeah, he's always just going like, oh, I mean, you know, so what? Like, everybody's got some black sheep in the family. He's the white one. You know, like, just because he owns all the nightclubs in King's Cross doesn't mean that he got them illegitimately.
But what about the double
I think
standard?
it does mean that. I'm going to be honest. I think it does mean that.
So is it fair? What about the double standard? Is it why did he get fired and Kyle wouldn't?
Because Kyle Sandilands is a ratings machine.
Shows he.
You know what? He is. But this is the whole thing, right? Okay. I honestly think that FM radio doesn't care which politician you support. They're just not in that game. The only reason that they're pro-liberal is because of the residue of the rest of the propaganda from AM, and they're in that world. But they're not interested in it at all.
Wait, so you're saying like if for 15 years Labour was winning, their channel would be based around supporting the Labour Party?
It's just whoever's the biggest name they can get, they put on. Because I remember when the Labour Party was in and Simon Crean used to go on the Kyle and Jackie O show and they made him cool. And every time he left, they always go, I love Crean, he's such a nice guy. It's just because he was in power.
Right.
So they don't have the same agenda that AM radio does. Think about this. Marcus Paul was on a radio station that is immediately followed by John Laws.
I mean, I'm surprised he wasn't fired like 3 weeks after your interview with him.
Me too.
I'm very surprised. I was like, what the hell?
No, but because apparently, look, this is your petition to reinstate Marcus Paul.
Whose petition?
Friendlyjordies, Jordan.
Did you know you had this? I didn't know that.
Has got 11,759 people that have already signed it.
It's more than I thought.
Yeah, which
It
is
was 11,600.
I'll consider signing.
which is pretty crazy. But anyways, you
pretty
can shed some light on this. So one of the obvious answers to this could be that this happens everywhere. Someone gets bad ratings, they don't have the heart to fire him. Any little thing happens, they're like, that shit, this was too much, and they fire you. But Prawnie's Facebook is riddled with how he's increased his viewership and how he's gotten all of these new people that never were interested in radio and now are listening to it. I'd imagine if it was someone like that, then you'd want to keep him. But maybe that's not true because they fired him.
No, they're not. I'm always trying to put this out in my stand-up show. There is some media that lives or dies by ratings, but that is entertainment media. AM radio, entertainment is a very distant second. It's the same... Look, if you wanted a ratings machine, you would have kept Alan Jones exactly where he is. But the politics of the station changed when it was bought out by Nine. They didn't want his side of the Liberal Party getting propped up anymore, and so they got rid of him and then replaced him with the puppet that is Ben, right? It's exactly the same with 2SM. 2SM does not want a breakfast radio host that is informing people about water corruption. Doesn't want a host that will sit there and say that what John Barilaro is doing is essentially shutting down free speech in this country, right? They don't want somebody saying those things to the average person, but they can't fire him for that. So you look for an excuse to do it. That's what's happening there.
Did he have an effect?
Absolutely he did.
Really?
If you have someone on breakfast radio in Sydney, even if they're switching through the dials, and as they're saying, he's attracting a larger audience than 2SM has had since the 70s.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because he's offering a voice that has been completely shut out of radio since Labor sold its radio stations.
He's our progressive Rush Limbaugh. That's who he is.
I was going to say Gandhi, but okay.
Yeah, I think you're underselling him there.
He's our Gandhi. He looks like Gandhi too. Let's be real. But I really feel for the guy, man.
This is the thing. I also think, because talking to Marcus grew up in the radio world, and so I think he does think that his job is to attract ratings. He doesn't know that that's not actually his job. And I think he became a victim of it as a result.
Well, maybe he'll learn now, but can he get what options does he have? Twitch? Like, what's he gonna do?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I really want him to succeed in life.
Maybe he.
I think you should just replace me on this pod.
Nah,
no one would know.
Replace me. He said he would. Remember? I was like, I'll step in.
Yeah, he'd love this gig.
He needs to be. He needs to get on social media ASAP and then figure out what happens.
Yeah,
after.
Chuck and Alan Jones.
Yeah, independent vibes. You mean, or
just go on Twitch.
Yeah, why not?
And sit there and be like, oh, the comments are on the screen there. Hang on, let me just get on my glasses. No, that's too rude. I won't be saying that. Let me just ask my hot wife how this works. Okay.
Maybe this is a blessing for him. Maybe he's been like freed of the chains that he was constantly under.
He's freed from the chains, but now he's got nothing to be tied to.
Yeah, and the guy probably has like a mortgage and a family and all that stuff. Maybe he comes from like a rich family, but I really do feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, me too. It's brutal.
Can you do something for him?
Hey, I did a petition.
That's true. You did do a petition.
Maybe you could go.
No, I'll tell you this though, Marcus. Little shout out. If the radio world doesn't pan out for you, and I think that we all know that that's the end for you. Maybe I'm wrong,
dude.
Sorry.
He could get on a commercial station, FM. Why not?
Might be the fact that he's older than Kyle Sandilands, and Kyle shouldn't be on FM radio.
Really?
Given the shake of the demographics, they probably should. I'm still thinking of radio in the 90s.
He's one of those people that could be like 51 or 31, you know? Or 21.
No.
No?
That's not
31's pushing it quite a lot.
Fair enough.
But, yeah, if push comes to shove, Marcus, just want you to know this, mate. You start up a Twitch, we'll give you the advertising you need to get yourself back on the feed. And I think that you probably have a bigger impact because you already have, clearly, a rabid fan base that loves you. You should see when I say in my stand-up show, just a little shout-out to Marcus Port, every time.
Yeah, they
throughout the country it gets cheers. Places where you're not broadcast, Marcus. So you're probably thinking too small. You just want to nail a tiny slither of an already saturated market in Sydney. Your market's the world, baby.
At least Australia.
Grow up from a prawn and become a king prawn.
Tiger prawn.
Tiger prawn. It's time. You're right. It's a good call.
Well, let's not stretch the world. I think he has an audience in Australia.
Yeah.
Well, no, what we're saying...
And Christmas Island.
I'm pretty sure people in Iceland are like, oh my God, Prawnie is going to come up with a new one.
What we're saying is go to the States and start your own late night talk show.
No, I just think you should just get on social media. Be the next felon.
Just get a ticket to LA. Just do it.
And hire the same producer who gave you that quiz. Hire him.
I would watch the shit out of that. All right, Matt Damon, what's your latest film? It's Elysium 2, eh? Well, the first one wasn't bad. I'd watch the shit out of that.
His first episode. We've got Alec Baldwin on.
Alec cancelled the first time. Well, I think this has been a shot of an interview. Cancelled.
I I've always been saying we need the Second Amendment too in this country. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah. Fuck. Cancel
So, what's it like to kill someone?
We've all been there. I mean, I've killed a dog. It's not that different.
And my career.
Nah, we love you, Prawnie.
It's a comedy podcast, eh?
But you have to admit, that would be really funny.
It would. Fuck. He would be the only one that could hold a candle to Conan, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, you're right. Your talents are wasted. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. This, if anything, I think Ali's obviously conciliatory words are correct. You were limiting yourself there, mate.
Yeah, for sure. This is blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
There's
And even if it's not, at least look at it that way. You know,
Yeah. There's look, the internet's a thing now.
Dude, I think about it. Like, imagine if we were
Hello.
if we were doing what Prawn does for a living and doing radio. How that would not be a good life. You'd be so constricted all the time.
I wouldn't say it wouldn't
You'd
be a
have
good life.
stress.
Dude, I gotta say though, I do miss the days of Move, but
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
because
fun.
it didn't matter if we were.
It didn't
fired.
matter, but imagine
Yeah.
imagine this situation.
We tried to get fired. What are you talking about? We tried. We were sponsored by LJ Hooker, and we actively promoted Richardson and Wrench.
Yeah, but also
as a joke, and that was fine. But educating the audience was not.
And paying out Macca's,
But
which
you
was
should-
a sponsor.
you should never
Macca's
forget-
Sucks. Macca's sucks ass. Who likes Macca's?
you should never forget that you guys were paid $200, so $100 each per week.
Yeah.
When you're getting paid, I don't know how much Marcus is getting paid, but I'm guessing it'll
lot
be like
more.
70, 80,000 minimum a year, probably above 100,000. His wife is used to that lifestyle, you know? It's one thing to get fired from Move after getting paid $100.
Hey, maybe it's, two worlds can converge here, Mark.
You
Email
should
Move.
be. Then you exactly.
I loved it.
Don't try for the AM equivalent.
Just,
As Miss Love said, you look like you're 21.
there's a punching bag in the shed out the back. There's a woman called Barb. Was that her name? Barb?
Yep.
That
Just
might
make
be a
sure that you
ghost.
clean out the coffee stains at the bottom of the mugs and you'll be fine.
Make sure if you're using the sugar, do not use a wet spoon. That's the only words of warning I'm going to give you.
You've screwed up the entire bag if you do that, and that has blown out Move FM's budget, which is a letter that she actually sent us very passively aggressively once. Isn't that amazing?
There's stickers on there's cutout from magazines on the wall from all the classics of our musical history. Jet, the Veronicas, Anthony Kalia,
The Young Divas,
Pussycat Dolls.
the Young Divas of America.
No, look, you'll be fine. But it's shout out Move FM. Shout out.
I wish we were back at Move FM.
It was fun.
All right, look, let's move on. We wish the
It's
best
not a great
to
way
Marcus.
to end that segment.
hate
of
the
like,
guy-
"Yeah, just come on the internet, it's great." You know what the peak of our life was? Being on radio in Lithgow.
The guy that replaced us too, that guy sucks. Like, I perpetually sound overconfident with a very blocked nose, and I'm in my 50s. Why are you here? How can one man
Taylor Swift should never come out of your audience.
exactly McChicken burger? Fuck, dude. I hate you. I hate you. If you're listening, I hate you. Not you, Marcus. The man who replaced us in the Upper Blue Mountains. You suck, dude. I'm sorry. Sound more genuine in your broadcasting, please.
Was he the guy that came up to you when you... This was amazing. They were selling it as the greatest technological accomplishment in Move FM's history, which was they were going to do a live outdoor broadcast in front of Proud Jewelers.
I did that. I was there.
Yeah, that was you.
Next to the donut shop.
He did all the meet the people moments. That when they made us go outside of a coal
Yeah,
mine.
I fucked that up. It was a coal mine, and I went live from the coal mine, and I did all these interviews, and the broadcast fucked up. So I just didn't. None of it was usable.
Taking him down from the inside, eh?
Should have known who I work for.
Yeah, but when you were Prouds, wasn't there some old guy that came up there and was just like, watch and learn, mate. I've done 7 of these outdoor broadcasts, specifically outside of Prouds, over my illustrious 50-year career. Was that guy?
No, dude, it was just, I can't remember. It was definitely me and Tim. I can't remember who else. I can't remember who else was there. But no, it wasn't. I don't think it was. I never met this man. I think they just carted him out from somewhere. I love the guy from Perth who was like, okay, guys, I'm just basically here to make sure that you...
Were you talking about Tim?
No. There was another guy from Perth.
There was another old man from Perth that was
great.
giving us advice on how to connect with the youth.
What did he even tell us? What the fuck did he say? I just remember him being like, you still owe me a beer. And I was like, yeah, come round to the Blue Fox, I'll get you one. And he was just like, I liked him.
And wasn't that weird? After we got fired, he still used to ring you up and go, hello, Jim, where's my beer?
But what did he honestly do for us?
He would come up to us and then he'd say, yeah, that was a great show. I think he had fake teeth. He used to suck them in and go like, I thought that was a great show. Do you have any actual feedback from the show? Where's that beer? In other words, he never listened to the show. And he was getting paid as a consultant.
Because boomers have it way too easy. I think the most advice he ever gave us was he was just like, show, like feigning that he's planning shit, but not like, show, you're going to be doing just reading the news or anything else. We're like, oh, we do skits. We like skits. Like, yeah, skits are good. Skits, I do like skits. You know, you got to keep him. You know, what kind of skits? I would say, and he's like, yeah, that's all right. How long? 4 minutes? Sometimes 5. Yeah, maybe try for 4. All right, see you next week, mate. The most.
Dude, do you remember this? Again, I can't stress this enough. His job is to consult specifically for youth-oriented radio. and
King, though. He was a king. I'm not saying he's
amazing.
not. I loved him.
Yeah, he was
loved this man. I'm not conflating him with some new guy replaces, like, I've got a very blocked nose. That's why I have a career in the country. Not that guy. I never met him. Fuck that guy. I think his name was Charlie. Whatever.
Charlie.
That guy ruled.
Charlie was worth his weight in gold despite not providing anything.
Oh, yeah. He didn't do anything about that. I think he was a great guy.
Yeah.
Good attitude. Best attitude from anyone we had.
That's what radio's all about.
Yeah.
But it was one time where, because we were doing breakfast and then they wanted to move us to drive and take, it was incredible actually. They took Hamish and Andy, the most successful duo on radio in FM history, easily. They took them off to give us the shot at drive.
Piece of cake.
And they were saying, yeah, boys, how do you feel about that, moving to drive? You don't have to get up so early. Yeah, never heard that one, Charlie.
Yeah. And I was secretly crying out of happiness because of that, but go on. Just crying inside. Remember it like it was yesterday.
Do you remember this? We were in that meeting. You said, you chuffed about that, boys? And we said, I don't know. It's pretty big shoes to fill, Hamish and Andy and all. And then he said, who's Hamish and Andy? And I said, you know, Hamish and Andy, the guys we're supposed to replace. And then he obviously pretended like he knew who they were by going, oh, Hamish and Andy. Right. Yeah, big shoes to fill, why not? He tried to cover his tracks to us, who had no power whatsoever, trying to fire him. And that's how you get it like it. It's truly an industry of bullshit, isn't it?
This man got the job because I think he was gambling buddies with the owner, who lived in Dubai.
I think so. Notice how everyone had a job there.
It's about nepotism.
Yeah.
It was just Bob holding on for dear life, being like, yeah, that sugar bowl's going to finish me one day. I've got to make sure, got to rewrite that it says don't put a wet spoon in there or I'm done for. I don't know them that well.
Yeah. How have you had a job at specifically this radio station for 50 years?
We had a joke that she was a ghost, though she wasn't real.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember you came in a few times.
Well,
Like,
sometimes she would act like a ghost. I would come in late at night and walk into the studio, and it would be like pitch black, but she'd be sitting there for some reason.
just sitting there as a ghost. We had a joke that she's like, if she's not there, the universe collapses into a black hole. Like it's this time continuum where if she's not there, the mirage of the building kind of disappears. So she's holding the foundations of the whole building together, just sitting there. If she doesn't say her ancient Dune Arakan language of so yeah, then like the place just goes and disappears.
Yes, that's right. And then added to it saying that that's a cover that she's been working there for 50 years. She's been there since the time of dinosaurs.
Yeah. And then the sugar ended the dinosaurs with the wet spoon, so that's why she was very adamant. Since prehistoric times, it's not happening again.
God, that was a strange portion of my life. In fact,
Same
that was
here,
the
same here.
weirdest.
It's definitely the weirdest for
my entire friend group used to be 50 Koreans. And that was less strange than
It was definitely the weirdest time in my life. And I've done some weird
It was
shit.
fun. I missed those drives, actually.
Yeah, it
it's
was
nice
great.
up. Great town and
It
great
was,
drive.
It was weirdly fun. I would look forward to it.
yeah.
Me too. And honestly, I would give it all up again if I got some pissant job in a regional radio station.
It kind of cleanses you. It's
Yeah.
very. It's kind of. There is something about the internet that is kind of draining. Where it's just like fuck you. You're a legend. You're a cunt. Fuck you. It's just a weird thing. It's like what? But up there, it's just like, you know, it's just
No one's a legend. No one's a cunt. Everyone's just plain simple and talk to them like it.
yeah. The land that time forgot. Like the biggest conundrum was like, you want a shepherd's pie or a normal pie? And it's like, yes, that is a conundrum, but it's an easier conundrum. You know?
Yeah. And remember how people used to ring up our radio station? We'd always say like, hey, yeah, if you've ever had this experience before, if you've ever read The Hungry Caterpillar, call in.
yeah, we didn't get
Let
many.
us know. And then the only people that would ever call, and we put this to air as well, was old people that thought that they had rung the AM station.
Yeah, it was only old. And then, yes. We prank called people a lot on the station. That was good.
Yeah, that was great.
Do you remember
You used to pretend to be, this was incredible. It's yours. I need to go to the toilet.
Oh, I'm not going to be able to do it. I pretended to be, what was his name?
Ray Hadley.
Yeah, I just.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, we used to prank call people and I'd just be like, Shoei, what are you calling about here? And essentially, you know, go down the line of like, mate, you're an absolute joke. Like, what? So you're saying you're not getting by with one job, mate? Look, the Australian dream isn't free, right? At one point I had nearly 3 jobs, right? At one time, you're unbelievable. I've never hung up on a caller, but you're the first. Sayonara. That was sick.
He was amazing at that. That was his hidden talent, impersonating Ray Hadley on the fly.
That was good.
And that was really weird as well. It actually really showed the differences in our style because you could do it live.
Yeah.
And as soon as I was like, read this script that I prepared of Ray Hadley, you couldn't do it. And I'd be like, I'll step over.
Yes.
So I could do all the prepared skits and you could just
That's
off
right.
the whim.
That's
it was
right.
amazing. But you are missing out on the main point here, which is, I don't know how he heard about this. That is incredible in itself. Ray Hadley rang up our station once. The only
shit, I
person to
forgot.
ever deliberately ring up Move FM
I forgot about that.
to say, what's all this business of you impersonating me? You don't cut this out now. We're going to take the syndication off your AM station.
Yeah.
And that was the end. After all of us getting
right.
all of it. You know what it was, actually? You know what it was?
What?
This is incredible.
Unbelievable.
The reason that we were getting scouted for a brief millisecond by Oz Stereo up there is because of those Ray Hadley impersonations. They used to send them over to the people at Oz Stereo and they'd be pissing themselves laughing. So it must
That's
have gone through
right.
that back entrance.
And then he's got wind of it and he's like, not on. That's not me.
Yes. Yes.
That's bizarre.
I've spent my life fighting the clowns.
And now
We're going to end like this.
I've been turned into one
George, do you remember this? During
Cruel
the same
poet
time,
fate.
Miss Love had this serious fight with Zambrero Corporation. Do you,
No? What happened? What happened?
you don't remember this? That is one of the most ridiculous things that have ever happened. where he'll explain it, but this is so Miss Love, obviously massive fan of Mexican food, is super excited by the fact that Zamborero has opened up in Lithgow.
First Mexican ever in
And
Lithgow's history.
he goes there like morning,
day.
lunch, dinner, right?
That's right.
But then he's getting really pissed off by something.
I'll tell you. Thank you for remembering that. That's amazing. So this is what happened. I fucking was going to Zambrero literally 3 times a day because I was just like, no, my red rooster, I can be free, you know? And this is what happens in Zambrero. To sort of get around the issue of the copyright law with music rights, they have some man or woman or whoever, artist, in some dungeon, I assume, doing mashups because I think it avoids... No, if you go into Zambrero now, I mean, it might have changed, but back in the day, it was just exclusively the worst mashups ever heard on Earth. Like, the worst. Atonal, like, 2 different pitches. Two kinds of music, like, they'd get Sting and Pantera, or, like, you know...
Panthera.
Or Beyonce and, like, I don't know, what's something ridiculous? Like, Beyonce and Metallica, or just terrible.
Only you were extremely triggered by it, but what follows as a result of this is hilarious.
So essentially, from enough times of standing in line and just being like, this is just it started off at being like, this mashup is bad, and then to like, this is all they have. They just keep doing it. This is the worst, and then just being like, this is the worst music I've ever heard in my life. I can't. And then I sent a like expose, like a memoir to Zambreros on their Facebook page. Like it was a well-written piece of literature. It was long.
That came in later. I know this pod is going on too long, and we have a segment as well.
Sorry.
But it started off with you first casually asking the staff, "Hey guys, love the food, by the way. Massive fan. They know you come there every day, 3 times.
Which I'm not, by
And
the
then
way,
you're like,
now.
do something about the music. To which they're like, oh yeah, you're right. And then never end up doing it.
Right, and then
you get really pissed off.
I wrote my letter. So I wrote this small expose to Zambrero. Just like, it was like 100 words. And then, like, it started this internet war because it was on their wall, and they did some bullshit response, being like, we think our music, it was like, this is an absolute cop-out. It is the worst shit I've ever heard. And then there was people chiming in from all around the country. Some people were on my side, some people were on their side, and it was just like 100 comments, and it was like my job. I was just like, clock in. All right, who's commented now? Yeah, that was... Thanks for reminding me about that.
Dude, it's so good because I've never met a man who is more impervious to internet criticism. It's amazing. Any negative comment Miss Love has, he takes it in pure stride. But that mashup sent you over the line, and you started a national movement.
National movement. I can't remember if I won it or not. Before we move on, can I mention one more thing about the radio show?
Go.
Do you remember one time we put out calls live? Keep in mind, a commercial station drive home. You can't get more mainstream than that. We opened it up to the phone lines about this. We said, open this up. We said, and we talked about it in detail. We said 9/11 was an inside job. It's a fact. Anyone want to talk about it? Call in. Try to convince us it's not an inside job. And we got in so much trouble. Like, the producers were just like, you what? And people were calling up just being like, this is unbelievable. This is a disgrace. And we were just like, be like, boring caller. All right, come on. Like, it was...
They're yelling at them. You just don't want to open your eyes to the truth. Next caller. Oh, see, another one that believes the story, of course.
Dude, we had some of the most cherished memories. Because, it's what makes real comedy so good. It's like, just things that shouldn't be. We shouldn't have been there. We were just abusing every element of it. And everyone around us was just buttoned down normies being like, you what? Look, we're going to have to... And there was times... Remember times when we accidentally just shut the station off? It just went... And it just died. And then someone had to... Tim basically had to come in and be like, oh, God, and pour beer on the thing.
Here's the other thing, dude. Here's the other thing. Sometimes it'd go for like 8 hours. There'd just be nothing going on. Just
remember
until
that.
someone got into the station and bothered to tune into Move
Do you
FM.
remember when we used to make mashups actively paying out the station? Like, hit, play Justin Bieber. Like the song, after hit, play the same song. After hit, play it again and be like, dude, I need to find... They're on something. They're on Spotify.
Yeah, they're on our podcast. You could troll through them. They're on our, not on Spotify, Podbean.
Twitches,
but it'll also be on maybe Spotify.
can some
And
of you
let's just
nerds
also
on
say
Twitch
this as well.
please
That
do
was the
that?
tame stuff.
Can some of you nerds on Twitch please trawl through our Podbean and try to find, because they're there, and we should put that on YouTube.
Just on this main channel.
It's
They were gold.
So good. Like it was the stuff. You know when you're laughing so hard that your ribs hurt and you can't breathe, and you've got that thing where you're like in that mixed emotion of like, it's so satisfying, but I might die. I can't breathe. I need to breathe in. I'm gonna die.
That was gold. Now that I think about it, that was the key to good radio. This was the aim. Now that I think back at it, I don't know if we were consciously thinking this, but
Someone
we were
make that,
trying
please.
to get fired.
Yeah, which is the funniest thing ever.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Because that's where creativity shines, where you just don't give a fuck. Like, it was in high school, we were making... I remember me and Gabe made a video. We had to do a thing for film. Made a short film, and we decided halfway through this film sucks. So then we just said, let's just try to make it as dumb as shit as possible. And it was... fine art. Unfortunately, it hasn't survived the annals of time, but it was gold. It was a serious fight scene, and just before the punches land, just insert like boing, like this terrible sound, just classic shit. And that's what we did, and it was. I mean, you did a few broadcasts yourself.
I did a few of those, but obviously you guys had a full-time gig and I had a very casual gig over there, so I didn't experience a lot of that. I would just come in and I would get these new instructions where I'd come in and sit in the studio, and then one Jordan or Miss would be like, "Hey Ali, make sure you don't press this button." I was like, "Wait, this button?" And I press it, and he's like, "No, this shuts down the entire thing."
Yeah. We made that mistake one too many times. And then Tim smashed up the computers once for some reason. He's like, I had a problem with the technology. Just destroyed the studio.
That's right.
Remember?
And then we had to go for a long time in Move, way too long for it to be acceptable as a commercial operation. We had to go into the emergency broadcast studio that's designed for when the world is ending. You know, it's for when there's like a huge blizzard that shuts down everything else. Yeah. And that was Tim-proof.
Right.
Do you remember that?
Wait, what do you mean Tim-proof?
There was that World War II studio
next
in
door.
between the two.
Yeah,
we had to broadcast out of that because he smashed the computers.
We had to go in there and just be like, that was a close one. And that was a song by Pink from 2002. You're listening to Move FM.
Isn't that amazing? The natural disaster was our boss.
Damn.
It was, it actually trips me out. Anyway, I'll stop.
There's just so many characters.
Final PSA: if you love me out there in Twitch world, and I know there's a lot of people that watch this and that are on the net that don't have a job and don't have a life, find those skits. They're whole episodes. They're deep, but if you find them, send them to me, please.
All right, look, we're almost out of time, but we want to do one more segment, which is, I don't know if you followed this story, Jordan, but Greens, the party, our favorite, has said they're predicting that there might be a situation where Labour wins, but there's a hung parliament, and they would need Green support to form a government. And they're setting terms of those negotiations already. Now, I know what you think, and I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, you're already fucking with them. It hasn't even happened. But then I did some more research, and I found that it might not be such a bad thing. So they're saying that the one demand that they have, clearly, which is a non-starter if you don't do it, is, and they're already laying it out, that we will not support any new coal or gas power plants in Australia. We're not saying that the ones that are already existing need to close down, but no more new power plants, which is in somewhat contradiction to Labour's policy because they're now supporting gas power plants in the Hunter Valley, but they're saying they're going to run it out of like hydrogen or whatever, which it makes it a lot more green. But either way, and I thought, oh, okay, this is just Greens being Greens and already putting like little roadblocks. But apparently that's not the case, because what they were saying is that we've learned from the 2009 carbon tax debacle where they were saying that in 2009, it's funny now, but they were saying carbon tax is not like serious enough in 2009 when no one was doing it, and so it was actually a very good policy. So they're doing that where they're not giving. So what Scott Morrison is trying to do is pin Labour down in the elections by saying, well, even if Albanese is not saying crazy things, the Greens say a lot of crazy things, and they're going to make Albanese do all of that stuff. And so the Greens are saying, no, the only thing that we're going to make them do is not sign up for any more coal and gas projects. What do you think about that?
Look, it's not bad. I think this is completely redundant because I think that Anthony Albanese will win in a wipeout.
Shit.
What do I know?
That's not a good sign.
It's not.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that.
I don't know about
I
that
read
either.
like a few of these testimonials of these marginal seats that are supposed to call the elections, and they interviewed a few people asking them, what do you think about the election? And all of them were like, oh, I understand that Scott Morrison had to do what he had to do. He did JobKeeper. We support that. And he just gives us good dad image. And that was like most of them. So I don't know about like how certain this wipeout is. But either way, it's going to be a close one. And if Scott Morrison doesn't have that ammunition to like shoot Labour down by saying that they're going to be hijacked by Green, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think that if they do get into a coalition, it will be exactly the same thing as what happened in 2010, and they've guaranteed themselves a one-term wonder. So I really hope that doesn't happen. And I would just say this one more time. You really have to convince one person to vote Labor if that is the scenario. But I also think that,
as we discussed,
Dick Smith.
The Dick Smith
The
party.
real Green Party, the one that's called Dick Smith.
What do you think about the policy itself? Do you think that that's something that they shouldn't be saying, or because dude, the idea of no more coal and gas power
that's
plants,
great. That's all well and good. This is what I just understand about politics now that I'm a little bit older. What's good is not what can be done. And if you are going in and you're saying, we're taking on the most powerful industry in the country, okay, well, that's a huge disadvantage to begin with. But then to also say, we're also going to be taking on the second most powerful industry in the country.
Yeah, that's true. But look, this is the difference. So I looked this up. Greens by 2030 want 78% reduction in emissions. Labor want 44, and Coalition want 28. These are the differences that we're essentially looking at.
Yeah, but here's the difference. Labor's is backed by actual policy. The Liberals is not based by actual policy. Labor does. I know this because they had a path and they were originally saying for a 50% reduction, but they can't because they've wasted 3 years. So what they're saying is backed both by what scientists say can be done as well as what is realistically able to do within the political landscape. Whereas it's all well and good to say, yeah, we can get to 70%. Yes, in an ideal world you can, but it's not the ideal world.
Are you pissed off by a new gas plant in Hunter Valley? Because technically speaking, even if the coalition stays in power and they do it, it is still I think like a 50% reduction in the emissions by just
cleaner.
using gas.
Gas is cleaner than coal.
Yeah, it's like clean, but not
Marginally.
really clean.
No, it's not like way cleaner than
No,
coal. Really?
that's actually a lie. But if you are combining it with hydrogen, yes, it will be cleaner. But if it's just a straight out gas plant, I think there's some research to say that it's worse, but I could be. Well, it definitely is because the way that you extract it is just so environmentally damaging.
Is it only fracking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's fracking.
And also, I don't think that they're
Fucking.
counting methane in it. Is that the deal? No, they must be. Surely, I don't know.
I don't know. They say that gas is somewhat cleaner, but either way, if that account of if it actually de-arms Scott Morrison from saying that the loony Greens are going to make Labour do all this crazy shit, then that's a good thing.
See, the thing that I think is an in the bag for Albanese is the press has well and truly turned on Scott Morrison.
Yeah.
And I think that means that their higher-ups are saying, no, the economy has been too damaged by the Liberals. We've gotten too fat off it. And we are now in that era of when Bob Hawke got elected in the 80s, where the powers that be know that they've pushed it too far. And if they want to keep the golden goose laying eggs, they need to actually have a proper government in. So I think that this is all just theoretical.
Except for 2 media houses that are still supporting Scott Morrison.
Who?
Channel 9
And the Roselle Gazette.
and the big powerhouse himself, Kyle Sandilands.
Yeah.
They did like a recent, and they found out that like extreme bias reporting in favor of Scott Morrison is pretty much ended including Sky News, where Sky News obviously is not pro-Labor by any means, but they recognize that this definitely has a good shot, and they've sort of they've molded their coverage to say
shitting
that
on Scott Morrison
a little bit, except for Channel 9 that still love him. Apparently, what's her name? The one that does the show with Ali, with Carl Stefanovic. What's her name?
I can't remember.
She is still she's still pretty pro.
Yeah.
And
not surprising.
And yeah, Kyle, after that bit that you were talking about where he was supporting Scott Morrison, they're saying that
I
those
swear
are
he's not supporting Scott Morrison in it.
Well,
He's
so then
supporting
maybe it's
Gladys.
just Channel 9 then.
I think it might just be... Well, it would make a lot of sense because 9 actually is run by a Liberal.
That's
that
a lot
makes
of
it.
people, though. That's a big fucking company.
Huh?
9.
Yeah. It is big, you're right.
Big. Like, that's not small fish. You know?
Let's keep our fingers crossed. I'm saying I don't know about this landslide talk that you do.
It's just...
They were saying that when Bill Shorten was running against him too.
No, they weren't saying a landslide. They were saying a win. And if you look at the polls, I think it's just a repeat of what happened in America with Hillary Clinton, where they were just, oh my God, this is a huge upset against Trump. And really, he had 2 points to bridge, which is within the margin of error. And that was what was happening in the last election. If you look at the polling in the last election, it tightened up so much in the last few weeks that Labor was, statistically not even ahead. But now, if the election was held tomorrow, Albo's 10 points ahead.
Really?
And I know that they always say, yeah, but that doesn't matter in the marginal seats. Maybe they're just interviewing people that like Scott Morrison.
Well, that's the other thing. People that would be, who the fuck? If someone came up to me and my electorate and be like, do you want to be questioned for this poll? I'd be like, fuck off, no. Like, then you'd walk, right? But I'd vote.
Yeah.
These people that end up doing these interviews for ABC or whatever,
Dumbos.
they're not just dumbos. They're all really partisan people. They're really just community organizers for their respective parties.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, let's eat a humble pie a little bit. Let's not talk about landslides, and let's try to focus on winning at least.
You know what else as well? This does show that under Adam Bant, the Greens has changed. You get it from Green supporters. They're still saying like, oh, fuck Labor and all that kind of stuff. But Adam Bant is really trying to rebrand the Greens as a very sensible, pragmatic party.
Really?
Well, clearly, if that's what they're saying.
Well, about time. So you
yeah,
like
about
them?
time, and it probably will work in their favour.
Okay, so
Giving themselves a less extreme
let's do the Tom Ballard podcast question: legend or Kant?
Fuck. What a podcast. Shout out.
That's what essentially it is.
Oh, I thought that was verbatim it.
So legend or Kant?
Adam Bant, look at him. He looks like
Legend.
a parking officer and a lawyer.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Such a good fucking one to finish.
We, again, appreciate that you listen to this podcast or watch it or whatever. We really appreciate the designs that you sent us.
And we really appreciate you signing up to the Up Late podcast, which all the feedback we get is that they are on it just to listen to the Up Late podcast.
It's a better one. It's better.
Yeah, let's be honest.
True, verbatim. The comments on the Uplate are that this is a better
Bad
podcast, which is something that we should really be thinking about. But
It's Twitch.
they like it, and I think you'd like it too. It's not that expensive, and it really supports the pod and helps us not be Marcus Prawn.
Yeah.
Keep free speech free.
Yeah, exactly. And
Right.
watch and learn, Marcus Paul. This could be your future.
Free speech
And
isn't
I've
free.
been to your studio in 2SM. This is better than what you had.
Oh, I
Is there
feel
any more-
bad for him now, but
Is there any more tropes we can throw out there? Free speech isn't free.
Cole keeps the lights
No,
on.
about freedom of speech.
Has anyone noticed that common sense isn't too common these days?
But it is on our pod.
You should have the right to say whatever you like, but also know that you can be criticised for whatever you say.
Yeah, I'm out. I don't know what else to say. Sign up.
thank you for joining us. Sign up to the Up Late. Bye.